So DC Pop, the reason I coined the term is because if I look at what's happening across the board in terms of where data is actually being consumed, generated, produced, and analyzed, increasingly we need to move content closer to the customer. So if you're a customer on the ground and you've got to wait for the networks to go back into a central place and then come back to you, A, it's extremely expensive, but more importantly, your experience isn't very good. So as more and more of us are actually using our iPhones to actually process and store data, as well as capture information, be it on a video, or be it a photograph, or more importantly, be an industrial process, where actually our sensors and meters are picking up data about energy consumption in water plants or in utilities or in pharmaceutical companies. All of that data that is being generated because of the Internet of Things in all of the different locations around the world, rather than have central storage and processing, which is the old way really of doing things. And by the way, for some things that makes complete sense. But for a lot of the real-time, immediate processing requirements that then need action immediately, you need to be able to do that locally. So how do you do that locally? And the reason DC Pop came around in my world was that as I think about, for example, the car company Uber, right? They are able to flex the availability of their cars by encouraging consumers on the ground to become a driver for a day, right? And they call it Uber Pop. The reason I call it DC Pop is because the micro DC and the ability for a micro DC to be made available to a consumer or even to a business user, a building, an office, whatever that unit of consumption might be, easily, with agility and fast, and frankly, with the right tailored data center environment for the application. So if you're doing R&D, you need certain things. If you're just doing email, you need something else. And so an application-specific data center that can be turned up when you need it, at that very moment, for you to analyze, process, consume, store, monitor your data, and act on it. And then imagine a world that is interconnected in terms of those micro DCs through a management portal that allows you to then flex your demand and load. That, in a nutshell, is what DC Pop is.